off when you look at a weekend there that's just gone by, Milton Keynes Coventry, and you'd like to think that if you had a full squad and you had a proper full training camp, that you could possibly have taken a couple of points out of those two games?
Well, we've suffered losing the league by a point, so like if every point counts, regardless of when it is in the season, you can't look at these early season games and just kind of write them off because you've only got half a team. But I think the annoying thing is as well, I mean, obviously training camp is to allow to see who gels with each other and who's going to be on lines together. We can't do anything like that because there's so many players still to come in.
Yeah, well, obviously we were maybe be talking to Brendan later on, and that was one of the questions I was going to ask him. How can we go about formulating lines? It's like we'll still have the training even when the players arrive, and if you're looking at having not signed players, what are we, the 20th of September? If we sign a player tomorrow, I reckon the earliest you would see him was probably 3 weeks at the earliest, and then training camp kind of begins properly, if you know what I mean. And you're still in, you're how many weeks into the season by that point? 4 solid weeks into the season. I see if you're stretched. I don't know. I was thinking about this earlier on, and they would never admit it. And I don't know if you think about it as the devil's advocate kind of thing, and you are being really, really, really cynical. You could say our best chance of winning a trophy could possibly be the playoff final weekend. Okay, so if you're aiming at that, and you're kind of saying, well, Cardiff, Sheffield, Nottingham are too strong this year, we probably wouldn't be good enough to win the league. And bearing in mind, I'm just devil's advocating here, I'm not saying that's my views. If you get a couple of really, really good players in now or within the next 2 or 3 weeks that are not Lee Baldwin, for example, you might have a chance at that playoff final weekend if your team can gel and stay clear injuries. It's a bit of a shot in the dark, but, you know, to start that's the only other thing you can think of about from starting the season with a full squad. I just don't understand. I can understand the reasons for it. I don't believe all this stuff you see on Twitter about they're doing it deliberately to save money. I don't buy that. I'm sure Andy's quite happy. I'm sure Andy's sitting there thinking, oh yeah, I'm saving a few bob here. But I don't think they're doing it deliberately for that reason. That's just my take on it. But you see a lot of people on social media saying that's the motivation. Would you buy into that, Stephen?
No, because if that was the idea behind it, we wouldn't go out and sign someone like Ryan Petone. I don't know how much he's on, but I doubt he's on like £300 a week and a fish supper, you know. So it's. I will say though, like the waiting game has paid off a bit better this season than last season. Because last signing last year, about the end of August, was Lee Baldwin. So I think we can say with certainty that Ryan Petone's a better option than he was. So no, I just think that's the tinfoil hat brigade coming up with that one. That's just daft. You know, I think you're right that Andy is probably happy they're saving a few bob just now, but I don't think that. Gareth and Coach Tripp will be too happy that the team's no complete and they're not playing very well just now. So, you know, that'll have a knock-on effect in home crowds as well. If we go all these away games without winning a game, by the time the home game against Fife turns around, nobody's going to turn up. So that's more money gone. You know,
well, I don't know if so much the Fife game would be affected. I think the homecoming, and there's probably at least 1 or 2 new players that we would, certainly Petone anyway, we would see for the first time, and it's a Fife game, and we wouldn't have been that much of a hole, even if we lose both games this weekend. But I think in the longer term, if we start getting into a funk of losing games, it's difficult to get out of that sometimes. We knew that last year, when we started to lose teams. It just was difficult to get out of that funk, Jennifer, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we'll just not sorry, is my voice going? We'll just kind of not discuss the bad home performances last year. I mean, obviously, the last home game we played, I don't think we played too badly at home. That's scrapping the Manitoba game because I don't think that happened in anybody's head. But yeah, and then the thing is as well, the guys aren't training at Braehead just now anyway, so they're all over the place and travelling, and is that a factor?
Well, we've done that before every year, and you know, and certainly I don't buy that having a big. I mean, it's not ideal, but with the years that we challenged for the league and even the CHL years, I mean, we were doing that then. but we put together teams that coped with that and were fighting for each other. I'm not saying this team isn't, but we're getting results. It just, to me, one of the things that worries me about this team so far is, you're talking about the Manitoba game. We watched them playing, Lone Frankfurt before that, and they played reasonably well, close games. The Manitoba game was nightmarish. It's as if they didn't turn up. And for me, there was shades of that in the Milton Keynes game. So I don't know if this team, although it's not complete, is still a bit hot and cold by nature. It's a bit early to be saying things like that, but it's already in my mind watching Manitoba, watching Milton Keynes and Coventry, where it wasn't much better against Coventry, let's face it. But then in between, they've been able to beat Fife and win the Scottish Cup. I don't know if that says a lot about Fife or Scottish hockey clubs than it does out of the fact that we're just maybe hot and cold, but it's certainly a consideration. And as we were saying, by the time we get a full squad together, and they've played together for a while and gelled, we could be into November, Stephen. So, what do you do at that point?
Well, at least at that point it'll be nearly Christmas, so we'll have that to distract us and get all that organised instead of worrying about hockey, I suppose. But no, you're right. It is true. It's a worry that, like, you look at Cardiff and Sheffield and Nottingham, all the teams that have had their guys in for weeks, and even though there was a few, I think Cardiff and Nottingham played each other at the weekend, even though a few of those teams have lost and aren't at maximum points just now, you can see that they're playing well, they're scoring goals, which is something we've struggled with over the weekend, and just that extra time together is going to make the team better, because they're getting used to each other. They know the style of play the coach wants to play, and that's just something we don't have just now, because we're waiting on guys, and we had a sort of disjointed pre-season, and it's just a bit of a hodgepodge just now, but time will sort that out. But will the fans give them time? That's the big issue. I
think if this would still been Ryan Finnerty in charge, I think the ball would be up in the slates, as they say already. I think with it being John Tripp and he's getting a bit of not a free pass, but he's getting a bit more time. It's a first year coach. Do you know the one thing you got to remind? The one thing I hate when I don't want anybody to say it is, yeah, but it's his first year, we're building for next year. No, it doesn't work like that in this league. You can't do that in this league. I hate when people say that. And it was kind of alluded to by, I think it would even have been Gareth.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he alluded that, this is first year, don't expect too much. Fair enough, but, I don't think we should be expecting too much any year in terms of being able to compete with the league. But if you're going to put in a proper challenge, if you manage to get a team like we had that went so close 3 years ago, you have to get there. You have to get out the blocks from minute one. You have to go to Milton Keynes and at least take a point. You have to go to Coventry and at least take a point. That's the only way you'll get up there to challenge. And if you're not, you're maybe doing the team a disservice by not giving them enough players to compete. But, we're back to that again. I don't know, I seem to be going in circles and losing my thread a wee bit, but yeah, please don't say it's his first year and we're just building. You don't build in the Elite League, because next year all your players could be gone, do you know what I mean? So that's not the way it works. I don't know.
I hope that at least next year we'll have maybe one or two imports back, so that'll be something, it's like, I think the whole, people wanted it, to be fair. There was people that said we need to get rid of everything, strip the club down, start again, and they got it. So, it's, I think it is something, if we were going to get a new coach, it was something that needed to happen. Maybe not get rid of all the imports, but at least look at what we had and try and sort it out. And obviously with Finner going to Manchester and taking a couple of guys with him, that was a couple of guys that you maybe would have thought that we would have asked back. That was never going to happen, and obviously anyone losing a player of Scott Pitt's calibre is a big loss. But, this is what happens when you want the club stripped back, and I think the late appointment of Tripp has just been the catalyst for that. It's you don't want to start signing imports when you've no coach. I don't think a lot of imports would actually sign if there's no coach. Yeah. So it was just something that delayed us from the start, and we are sort of paying for it now. But it's the situation we're in. We just need to try and grind out results until we can get all the guys in and start getting the squad playing together.
Yep, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there, Stephen. And we don't know the ins and outs of what the management went through before appointing John Tripp. We don't know if they offered it to other people. We don't know if they were late in getting back to them. We don't know if John Tripp always offered it and took his time coming back. But it is the late appointment of the coach has really had a knock-on effect. I don't know so much if we would be in this position if we'd been appointed earlier. I know the party line is we're waiting for the camps to finish, but there's waiting for the camps to finish, and we've never been this late before recruiting in Gen. To me, it's been more that situation. Whether, you could blame anybody for it, I really don't know, because as I say, we don't know the ins and outs. But to me, Stephen's right. It goes way back to the late appointment of the coach.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we were all champing at the bit to try and find out who it was we were getting, but when you are 2 months behind everybody else, when you start to get your team in, it's obviously having the knock-on effect, and I just hope we're not 2 months behind everybody else getting the full team in.
Yep, and I think it'd be fair to say, and we won't give out names here, but out the four of us who are regularly on the podcast, two of us have been given a name of somebody that may be about to sign or has just recently signed, and all I can say is, my opinion...
Lee Baldwin, is it?
No, I'm not going to give the name, right, but what I'm going to say is, in my opinion, if the name that between two of the four of us have heard is correct, then he could be one of the best D signings we've actually ever had. Way up there, it could be as good as Nathan McKeever or better. Stephen, what do you think, if it's true?
Well, I just said Lee Baldwin, so if that's true, no.
It's no Lee Baldwin, no.
Right, well,
you can't say Lee Baldwin and Nathan McKeever in the same sentence, come on.
In the same country would be it shouldn't be in. No, you're right. It's someone that I've seen play before. I think I liked what I saw from him, but obviously that was at a higher level than the IHL. That's a wee bit of a spoiler there to try and piece the clues together. But he's a good player, and I'd be delighted if I sign him. And hopefully it's just a case of dotting the I's and crossing the T's, and announcements made soon.
And Jennifer, you've obviously known who we're talking about. Your thoughts? Are we going about OTT saying he could be one of the best D-men we've ever had?
Until he's confirmed as being signed, it's difficult to pass comment.
Well, that's why we're not giving names.
Yeah, it's difficult to pass comment. But everybody's always got a wish list. And as I said, it's not a player that I had heard of before, but he certainly looks like he could play a pretty good part. Playing it down. Disappointment.
You never know, because it could be rubbish. Right.
Stop, whoa, yes, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Wait, Mr. Postman. Please, Mr. Postman, look and see. Oh, yeah. There's a letter in your bag. Please, Mr. Postman. Why's this taking such a long time? Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got some comments and tweets after the weekend's games, and we're just going to quickly go through them. Scotty G, hopefully when we've got a full roster we'll kick on and go on a long run. Well, that's what we're all hoping for. Al Murray, why do we not have a full roster already? Well, I think we kind of talked about that in the first part of the programme. We're certainly led to believe it's the coach's decision to be like this, and he's waiting for the roster or the camps to finish and hopefully get more quality players. But I mean, we keep saying poorly. We need to get Lee Baldwin if he ever talks to us again. I don't think he want to talk to us right enough. We always use Lee Baldwin. Was that not what we did last year? We ended up with Lee Baldwin because we were grasping at straws. So it might not work. Do you know what I mean? But
that was Harry Quast that was grasping at straws.
No, he came in after we got an injury? When Hendricks went? Did he not? Was he not kind of like the Hendricks replacement?
Well, technically, I suppose you could say that.
But I'm sure Lee Baldwin was the last D-man we signed of the imports before they decided, obviously, Hendricks was a bust. But anyway, Scotty G again, no idea. He's talked about, what's happened with the weekend, not getting nothing. Lack of a coach, not the right player available, but it's terrible that we've lost 4 winnable points. I never say away games are 4 winnable points, but as you know, I think as we said earlier on, if you're really looking to